What's up, guys? We're live. I was meant to be live at 6. Apologies, I'm a little late. I'm just still trying to figure out this. Bear with me. I'm going to do a screen share. Okay, guys. So what we're doing today, when we're live, is we're going to be breaking down stocks that ran today. It was actually a pretty good day for me. Let me just pull up some tickers that I traded today. So I traded MGNX, Snapchat, and Trvn. So green for the day, which is good. And I'm going to be breaking down some of them trades for you and why I kind of entered and why I exited them to make it kind of as simple as I can for you guys. So we're just going to jump into over to the screen where I'm going to be screen sharing, which is, so I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm not great at the live stream and carry on just yet. And I don't know how to see chats or anything like that. I don't think I'm ever really doing this right, but it is what it is. So we're going to be breaking it down now in just a second. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Let me see, are they coming up? Let me just see, do a test. But last time I remember being live, I couldn't actually see any chats. So I don't know. Okay, I'm going to jump over to screen share anyway, because like I said, I don't fucking know how to do the chat. Okay. Let's jump over to this one. Screen number 2, I believe. There we go. So what you can see on this screen, this particular stock is AMRS, okay? So where I want to bring your attention to is the resistance line here. This is all pre-market action, okay? And we actually open up here about 9:30 back here, okay? So all this prior pre-market action. It is important to pay attention to the pre-market action, solely being is it's important to see patterns and stuff like this. Now, AMRS, it actually kind of ran yesterday, this particular stock floats around 36 million. It did have news yesterday. It wasn't that essential today, but the news kind of follows through on big runners. But I'm just breaking it down solely off candle patterns on where I'd enter on this and where I did. So this is a red to green move, it's called on AMRS. Okay, so what that means is it goes completely red. When it reverses, goes green, it has to break out a new high over the resistance, and that's what it did here. So it's a complete red to green move. Really simple, really easy to understand. And it doesn't really get much clearer than this. Now, a couple of entries here. As I said, you want to be kind of getting in low off resistance down here. Or the safer move on a red to green is a lot of people can play it up to the resistance and see what happens, but it's actually not a red to green breakout until this move happens here. So if you did want to set a stop limit buy, that's where you would be setting it is over here. Just so that's where your breakout potential point is. That's AMRS. That's a simple red to green move. Again, guys, I'm just reading off the candle patterns and support here. That's a bullish engulfing candle. This green one engulfed the red one here, and that's what caused it to make a big move. And there's nothing really more to it than that on that particular move. Bullish engulfing, breakout, red to green, and we're done. Let me just pull up the other stock I have watching for you guys is Snap. Okay, so Snapchat here. Traded this again. This is probably, I don't normally trade these kind of stocks. It's only because there was earnings out today on Snapchat. Let me just hire this up a little bit. It's only because there's earnings out today on Snapchat. They were plus in their earnings. I haven't played this. I remember the last time I played this was about $20 stock at the time, and now it's down to $8. So I don't normally play these, like I said, but there was earnings, so that's why I wanted to jump on and trade this one. I traded this on my TradeNet account, so it wasn't anything crazy in terms of shares. I think I bought maybe 500 shares of this. I'm not too sure. I'd have to go back and check. But nonetheless, so it opened up great pre-market. It was holding up highs, and when you can see it on this, but there we go. So the pre-market, it kind of pulled back. It was pulling back. This is where we opened here. 9:30. We got actually this big red dump candle. That's when we opened. It wasn't a nice looking candle, but the thing about this is when you get them big drastic red candles on the pullback, this is where you're bringing it in. Now my aim was to get in about the 850 support. It did break it, but that was my entry about 850. Now I did hold true. It's solely because when you get these big huge red or green dump candles, it usually comes back the opposite way. Now I wouldn't base your trade solely off that, but I wanted to get in at support. I got in at 850 and it did break through it. So this was my entry around this square here that I have indicated for you. So when we broke up, straight away was pre-market high, was resistance. Now obviously the high is, let me just get the pointer on for you, 891 pre-market high, all right? But when you look at it, this is where you kind of want to be selling here. This is where we were going to struggle about 885. Again, it's not a huge difference, but I wasn't prepared to hold for the pullback. So I actually sold here into this move. Like we said, we got a big dump, bought at the support. It broke through a little bit, was nothing too concerning. We popped back up. We went straight up to hit the resistance. I actually sold here. I didn't wait for that push into it because we did get a pullback. So I thought at the time I'll sell into this resistance. Now it did run up about 10 more cents, but I had a huge dump. Now I wouldn't have held through this dump. So I was in here, I'm cashing out here. I'm not going to wait for the nasty pullbacks. These are your potential entries to get back in here off the support again. I didn't. I traded, I made my money, and that was it. I was out. But again, once it broke kind of this resistance, again, the next watch you're looking for is the whole of the $9. Went up to 9.10, and it's kind of buckled down, and now we're consolidating the rest of the day. Again, guys, simple entry off of support. Again, that was a bearish engulfing candle. We got swallowed up. Usually what happens with them candles is they tend to have an elastic effect that they pop back up, and that's what gives us our entry there. So that's Snapchat. Now, did I break down? No, I didn't. We're going to break down Trvn next. So give me a second. I'm going to pull this one up for you. Now, so we're in, this is Trvn. Yeah, we didn't break this down at all. So I actually traded Trvn yesterday as well. I originally wanted yesterday price target of about 150, but we didn't get it. But it was up on pre-market today. It was running off old news as well, I think. So it was the float on Trvn. I don't have it. I thought I had it in my notes here. I don't have it in my notes, but I think it's around a $30 million float if I'm sure on that one. But nonetheless, so this broke out pre-market, and this was doing really well pre-market. Okay, we pulled back, and this is what we got here right at the market open. There was a struggle right around the 150 entry, and it was popping down, but it was struggling, but it was still holding. If you look at the candles, the wicks on them, now this is just simple candle readings. That's all we're reading here is these wicks, and them wicks are indicating to us it's a bullish move. So the bulls are actually pushing this up. So like when you know how to read candles properly, I swear to God, it makes such a fucking difference in terms of entries and exits. Like going back to when I thought I knew how to read candles when I was trading, and you just look back and it's fucking embarrassing because everyone teaches you where they open, where they close, and they work in the opposites, the basic trading of a candle pattern, and it's bollocks because, sorry for my language, but there's just so much more to actually know in candles. And that was one of the reasons why at the start initially I'm like, why the fuck am I losing money here? And it was solely down, one of the main factors was, other than emotion, was down to reading candle patterns. And that's why I can't stress them enough and how important they are to actually understand them correctly. But these little wicks here are watching, they're the wicks that it's getting popped up into a bullish move. So entry here at the 150. Reason why I say 150, it's a $0.50 support. So what that means is Psychologically, 150, $2, 250. These are all big psychological support and resistances. So if we can hold them or we can break them, they're entries. So again, entry here 150. Where are you looking to sell? Where's the game plan here before we get into the trade? It's your pre-market high resistance, 163. It's nearly 10 cent. If you want to be technical, it is 165 as your pre-market high. But I'm not going to count the wick solely being is because there's more candle pattern, there's more candle action in around this area than there is up here. So this is telling me on a daily chart as well. On the daily chart, sorry, it was showing me a resistance at 170. I didn't have a resistance here on the daily, but this made a resistance pre-market. So that was my first indication of a sell point there at 163. 170 was the next target because it's a resistance on the daily chart. So that's why this is marked off here. So I always mark it off on intraday. Sorry, I always mark it off on the daily first, and then I'll mark it off on the intraday. And the daily support and resistances is a lot more effective than the intraday ones. So that's usually my larger picture, and that's where my game plan is coming from, is from a daily chart. And then after that, then I'm playing intraday patterns and charts. Simple as. It's an important question I always get asked is what time frames do you use? I use a 2 minute, a 5 minute, a daily, and occasionally the 1 minute, but not usually. So my daily is for my plan, my two minutes for my entries, and my 5 minutes as well as for my stops and entries along with patterns. They're important to use them all coincide together, and that's where it'll make you a better trader. Don't just stick to one. As the day goes on, some people usually intend to increase their times, so they might bring it up to a 5 and a 15 minute just to kind of neaten it up a little bit and to stop that crazy action going on. Anyway, back to the chart. 150 entry, first sell point here, resistance 163. It broke it straight through. So this is a perfect trade. As soon as it hit that 170, I was covering because this is a big resistance on the daily. Granted, it went up an extra 5 cents. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to be off 5 cents or under 5 cents or 10 cents. It's never going to be killer. No one ever gets their resistances solely because sometimes the chart's a lot of bollocks and you have to really zoom in on it to try figure it, and you're always going to be a couple of pennies off. So, for example, if I thought there was support here at 150, I could have been 148. We're not going to argue. We're just going to take the trade. So entry, first sell point 163. Definitely selling here 170. Simple trade, guys. That's it. Simple. Again, what did we do here? Bullish engulfing candle. We took it. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're buying off support. We're selling that resistance, and we're reading candle patterns. It's nothing fucking crazy about that at all. And that's it for in terms of the breakdown of the chart. I'm going to switch back. There we go. So that's it. Again, it's simple things. People like to overcomplicate the market. Don't get me wrong. It's not as simple and as easy as everybody thinks. If it was, everyone would do it. It can get tricky and it's difficult to learn, but once you learn it correctly in terms of buying support, resistances, and then all the other little patterns and tricks you learn along the way will help you. But that's all that the charts I broke down for you there is the ones I traded, and that's all that's in it is a case of reading the candles, support and resistances. That's it. Patterns are super important. I'm a technical trader. I trade off patterns. But today's action wasn't great. I mean, we're agreeing the moves were great, grand. But in terms of volume, I felt we didn't have a lot of low momentum runners or anything like that. Again, we're in earnings season. So this is actually the busiest time for earnings out of the whole year. Was last month and this month, I believe. But so the low momentum stocks will suffer a little bit. But that's okay. We just have to learn to adapt and to take what we're doing into action on other things. Sorry, I do have a huge spot in case you're wondering what that is. That is a spot. I appreciate it. Just in case anybody wanted to know. It's my friend. Other than that, guys, that's it. I want to thank you for joining the live stream. We're going to be doing these every week, so we're going to be breaking them down. Normally, we're going to be doing it on a Tuesday, and I'm going to be putting up my live trading tips on a Friday. Once again, I am new to Instagram. If you want to go check it out on Instagram, it's Trading with Flash. I don't think there's a link underneath. I must put one in. As well, if you are interested in taking any stock courses, I did prepare a website where all my stock course reviews are under one roof. The link is in the description below. And I also have a full Japanese candle course that I've created. It's over 15 videos and over 70 minutes of video lesson library solely based on candle patterns. There's nothing else in it, only reading candle patterns that will help you with your entries and exits. There's a guarantee with that as well. But if you want to go check it out, there is a link in the description, guys. Go have a look. There's a couple of free gifts in there as well if you want to go take advantage of some PDF cheat sheets and other things like that. Once again, guys, I want to thank you for your support so far. Enjoy the rest of the night and God bless.